Welcome back. I am Tyler here with my brother Ryan, and today we are going to break down the Pittsburgh Steelers 2023 NFL season and also preview the 2024 offseason for the Steelers. We talk about some of their key free agents, team needs, and what we think that they will do with their first couple of draft picks. But before we do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Ryan and I, we have a bunch of 3-round and 7-round mock drafts that will be Steelers specific coming out all the way up to the NFL draft. So you're not going to want to miss those. So like, subscribe, ring the bell. Ryan, let's pull up our slide here. So they ended up going 10-7, and I'll just say it right now. Like I can't believe I was all gung ho on the Steelers coming into the season. I saw their performance in the preseason, and then you get blown out by the 49ers. That's expected, but man, they look offensively, passing wise, looked awful. They moved on from Matt Canada. Also looks like potentially maybe they moved on from Kenny Pickett with Mason Rudolph coming in and saving the day, but. You said it here before we went live, and with how just the perception of the Steelers offense overall, actually looking at their team season so far, not horrible, not horrible offensively.
Yeah, no, I mean, with the exception of the passing offense, they had an above-average run game. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren had good seasons. They were 9th in sacks, only giving up 36, which is a little over 2 a game, but hey, that's actually not bad. That's definitely playable in the NFL. And then they were 31st in turnovers with.
So actually,
I think that's second.
Yeah.
They had the second fewest turnovers, with 16. And so that's another positive offensive statistic there. One of the things that is still so baffling to me is so they're 10-7, and it's not like they were just beating up on bad teams the whole season, because 2 of those losses were to the Cardinals and the Patriots, who were both 2-win teams that went into Heinz Field. I know it's named differently now, but it will always be Heinz Field.
It's always Heinz Field. Yeah.
It went into Heinz Field and beat the Steelers. I know the Cardinals game was kind of a slop fest that they were playing in basically a monsoon, but the Patriots game was a Thursday night game that Patriots just kind of came in and outclassed the Steelers, and they did not look good. And then turned right after that, went to Indianapolis and got their butts kicked, and they finished out actually with 3 straight wins to end up making the playoffs there. All in all, I still am. This is probably the worst 10-7 team I think I've ever seen. However, after looking at some of their season rankings and on the offensive side of the ball, I definitely was slightly impressed that they were ranked as well as they did.
Yeah, that's it's odd, but I know Mike Tomlin is another winning season or another not losing season to some people who want to give us in the comments that he had a couple of not winning seasons and went 8-8.
Yeah.
So, but I do still think it's a testament. It's year in and year out. They're always there now. And I will say, too, I think during the entirety of this channel, they've only, for their first-round pick, they've only gone offensive players. But to be fair, though, I think you got Najee Harris out of that. Then you got Kenny Pickett, which verdict is definitely still out on him. I would say maybe have to see what happens with a new offensive coordinator. So, we'll see. But Broderick Jones had a solid rookie year. And also on top of that, too, they went Pat Freiermuth in the second round in the first year of this channel. Then I believe they went George Pickens
second round 2 years ago
in 2022. And then last year, I can't remember who they went second round last year.
Joey Porter Jr. was.
They traded up for him. Yep. So
they had 32 or 31 or 33. Sorry, in the trade with the Bears, I believe, because they traded Chase Claypool to the Bears.
Oh yeah.
And then I forget who their other second round pick was.
Actually, I thought they traded Chase Claypool for the Bears. No, you're right. It was last year.
It was last year. Yeah.
So either way, though, they have been effective, I think, overall. And Kenny Pickett's still verdict to be seen. But they have hit, I would say, 5 of their top 6 first and second round picks over the past 3 years. And that, I think, it's helped out a lot just kind of in developing this youth. Because one thing I think, offensively, they're starting to kind of get set. They need to figure out Kenny Pickett or re-sign Mason Rudolph, who we're going to get hit into in a second. But they have
Keanu Benton was the other one. My bad. It just hit me.
No, yeah.
He was a defensive tackle. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, you're good. But They have solid receivers in George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. I would say offensive line is improving overall, and so not phenomenal, but they are improving. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren were one of the better tag team tandems this year. Let me pull up their exact stats. So Najee Harris had 1,000-yard rushing. I think actually, if I saw correctly on the game against the Ravens, first Pittsburgh Steelers running back to have his first 3 seasons break 1,000 yards.
Yeah, it was.
Which I thought was impressive if you go look at the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
So let's move on, though, now to the next slide, talk about the cap season overall. So Mike Tomlin is going to be the head coach moving forward. Looks like he's actually trying to get a contract extension here. They are going to be in a little bit of cap space. And so that's going to have to kind of see. But that being said, though, I don't think that's as big of a deal because a lot of the guys that I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, outside of maybe Kevin Dotson, a name that we didn't have on here. Not Kevin Dotson. Sorry. There was a guard, or there's somebody else I forgot to put on here. Nope, sorry. We just did the Rams video. Never mind. Totally ignore that. A lot of these guys were primarily backup defensive role players. Now, Mikael Walker was a starter, but Miles Kilbrew saw some time. Quan Alexander, Marcus Golden actually also. Let me pull up here. I think he did have he did have 4 sacks on the season. He didn't start any of the games, but he was third on their sacks stat sheet. But a lot of these guys is primarily backup defensive players, which to me is a good sign. It's like it's keep kind of moving this momentum on how you end the season. If you want to re-sign Mason Rudolph and have him be the full-time quarterback, and all you really need is a game manager. If you're going to have the tag team tandem and Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. He's got 3 solid receiving threats to throw to, and I think you could potentially even add one here to really fill out that entire offensive set, whether it be in the first, second, or third round. I think there's going to be a lot of good options. But then, and also all those spots, they're in prime spots to pick up on key defensive players that are going to be best player available at that position. For example, if they need to improve the secondary, 20, that's going to be a prime spot, I think, for like a Terrion Arnold. Kool-Aid McKinstry might be able to fall down there. I don't know if Nate Wiggins is going to fall that far.
Or he might be too good of an athlete to make it there.
Or it might be vice versa. Like Kool-Aid McKinstry might get taken early, but Nate Wiggins falls a little bit.
I like Nate Wiggins better. But, again, we'll have to see. Yeah. I just think Nate Wiggins is like the better natural corner. But that's a draft video. Yeah, I do think that they have some good pieces there. To me, the big thing that's going to come out of this draft is what are they going to try to do at quarterback? I think Kenny Pickett, I fear that if they go with Kenny Pickett, there are going to be guys that don't like that decision in the locker room, and it's going to split the locker room. But then I feel like if they move on from Kenny Pickett, he hasn't really had a full season to really kind of like show what he's done or show what he's been able to do. And I think year 3 is a big year for quarterbacks. Like this was Mac Jones's last chance to really get an opportunity in New England this season. Justin Fields was a very similar situation. Zach Wilson, the ship sailed a long time ago. Trey Lance, the ship sailed a long time ago. But you really, I think, see a lot of progression these guys' second year into their third year for these young quarterbacks. So I'll be really curious to see what they decide to do there with Kenny Pickett. So.
Well, and I will say, too, I bet they're going to cut Mitch Trubisky and they're going to sign Mason Rudolph just for that insurance. But
yeah.
I agree with you that I think you got him in the first round for a reason. Definitely see this third year because then worst case scenario, you don't pick up his 5th year, then you have him on as a backup behind Mason Rudolph or whichever quarterback that you want to have. But also, too, this will be the first full season not with Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator. I think everybody blamed Canada, just as South Park did. And so now it's like if you're still putting up the same stats, you're still putting up the same performance, you're still injury prone, and we've got the offensive coordinator that Mike Tomlin selected, the GM selected, that everybody's like, hey, this is going to be a good guy for the organization and for the offense moving forward, and you still can't produce, then it makes a much clearer target that, like, okay, we need to move on from Kenny Pickett. So we'll see more of that, and we'll have a better understanding, I think, at the end of the 2024 season.
Especially now that the offensive line, too, isn't as big of a liability because, I mean, in his rookie season, he was just under siege the whole time. So
Yeah.
it'll be really interesting to kind of see where they go moving forward. Let's go ahead and wrap up this Pittsburgh Steelers season recap here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what you thought of the Steelers 2023 season, and let us know what you want them to do with Kenny Pickett. Do you think they should cut him, let him be the starter in 2023, or should they try to go after somebody in the first round like a Bo Nix or a Michael Penix to come in and possibly bring in some competition? Let us know what you think. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.